This is the bar, and Thunderbolts, when it starts out, and for the first few scenes, it's above the bar, and as the movie progresses, and we get closer and closer to like the middle to the end, definitely to the end, it lowers and only meets the bar. It doesn't go above the bar. So I'm just gonna read the actual synopsis. After finding themselves ensnared in a death trap, an unconventional team of anti heroes must embark on a dangerous mission that will force them to confront the darkest corners of their past. That is the summary from IMDb, and that summary should have an asterisk next to it because that is the problem with Thunderbolts. Not all of them confront the darkest corners of their past. Not all of them needed to. The problem is that Thunderbolts is seemingly invested in some of the people who make up this team, while others you wonder why they were even in this movie. Go see it for yourself, form your own opinions, but we're going to talk about the actual movie. It explores themes of self loathing, shame, unaliving ideation, and essentially overcoming the narrative about yourself and yearning for another narrative, yearning to establish another narrative. All good themes, all very strong themes. The issue is that it doesn't explore that theme through all of the characters. With some of the characters, it just does the bare minimum. Let's talk about it. The themes of self-loathing and wanting to change the narrative, wanting a new narrative, are shown most strongly through Yelena. The self-loathing as well. Most strongly through her. I love her so much, and this movie did absolutely right by her. So when we meet her, she is completely disconnected from her life, from what she's doing. And then with the mix of that, in the midst of that, she's also grieving her sister. And she is at a crossroads where obviously she misses her sister. And she has the example of Natasha, who wanted to atone for the blood on her ledger so much that she became a hero, that she gave her life for the world, for the universe. So she has that example, and she is now at that point where she's wanting more. At the beginning of the movie, the more that she wants is just to be known, to be seen, like to have her name out there as the person who is doing this stuff for Valentina some way, somehow. And by the end of the movie, she is a hero. She has been introduced as a hero, a helper of the people, and she gets that aesthetic of being known and having her face out in the world. Yelena showed a lot of great qualities in Thunderbolts. She was brave. She was definitely the smartest one in the group. She was strategic. She showed the ability to relate to others. So she was observant where Bob was concerned. She pulled from her own experience to sympathize with him, and we watched her evolve her advice to him in the void. She went from saying like, what you do is that you shove it down, you shove everything down, and over the course of the movie she realizes how serious Bob's issues are. She changes her advice because she also has to reckon with what she needs to do, not drown it, in the bottle, but actually face your issues. And that was just an incredible display for her. She's also dealing with the self-loathing, right? The we suck, I suck, like we're not gonna. I feel like if Yelena was surrounded by a group of like true blue heroes, like the Sam Wilsons, like the people who actually dedicated their normal lives to doing good, she wouldn't be in such a crisis. Like every little thing that went wrong, she was like, "We suck. I don't see it for us." But because she's surrounded by a whole bunch of like losers and criminals, it was easier for her to be like, look what I'm surrounded by. Like, look who I'm with. Of course, we can't do this." And at the end, when Bob is beating himself slash the void to a pulp, she has the wisdom, we'll say, to know that what he needs is to know that he has more than just his demons. Bob has more than just his demons to keep him company. He has her. And from her example, the others follow her lead. The most important one being Walker, because he was such an ass to Bob for so long. They follow her lead and come like hug him. And so I think it was very appropriate. I'll say more about this. I'll say this again when I talk about Bob, but I think it was very appropriate for the resolution to him being to essentially talk him through it Usually I don't like that kind of resolution, especially for female heroes. But it worked very well in this instance. It felt very appropriate. We also see Elena as a daughter here, a daughter who needed her father to help her process the worst thing that's ever happened to her personally. Like the type of life that Yelena's had, that Yelena's led, I'm pretty sure has at once made her feel invincible. Being such an unaliver has made her feel invincible, taking lives left and right. And so to lose Natasha probably makes her feel a level of vulnerability that she could have never imagined. And she needed her father. Alexei was never nowhere to be found. And so this movie, I think, also did very well by Alexei. Of course, he's the comedic relief. He's really truly the only one who genuinely made me laugh. I also didn't find this movie that funny. But Alexei, he's a good father when the moment calls for it, but you're gonna have to like break down and lose it before he realizes that like he needs to step up and actually parent and actually be a father. But I do love how he is Yelena's number one fan and will embarrass the hell out of her. I love Alexei. He is going to be himself no matter who is in the room. The pain that he showed when Yelena walked into the void was palpable. The scene where he is building her back up after she walks away after a sentry knocks them between the washer and dryer is one of my favorite scenes, one of my 3 favorite scenes in the movie. Florence Pugh absolutely bodies that scene. And Alexei he shines in that scene, trying to build his daughter's confidence back up and help her see that she does matter. Moving on to B.O.B. Bob, he's another character that Thunderbolts got right. I loved his introduction. I was not familiar with the character beforehand, but I very quickly liked him. He was very endearing. His earnest desire to help, his earnest confusion, his earnest desire to participate and be counted on. The theme of self-loathing, unaliving ideation, also very strongly shown through Bob. I said it was most strongly shown through Yelena only because like we have so much backstory with Yelena. But Bob was great as well. He sacrificed himself for those people who he had just met at the very beginning. But that showed great things about him. But it also part of it was the fact that he doesn't value his life. I think his backstory was very strong. I totally saw the chemistry between him and Yelena. I'm just saying. And I do think his decision to help Valentina was a little bit abrupt, but it's fine. Like I noted, but it's fine because ultimately they made up for it when Sentry was looking at Valentina like, I'm him. So why am I listening to you? That was great. The fight between Sentry and the Thunderbolts in the penthouse is now one of my favorite fight scenes in the MCU. It was fantastic. And that, I believe, is one of my 3 favorite scenes in the movie as well. I was definitely impressed by Sentry's powers. The Void is scary and creepy as hell. And I feel like he represents that side of you that just don't want to see you grow and doesn't want to see you better. The Void just wants Bob to stew in his misery. We're going to move on to Valentina, Walker, Bucky, and Ava. We're going to go downhill. Let's continue with Valentina, Walker, Bucky, and Ava, and then I will wrap up. I think Valentina fared very well in Thunderbolts. I like the way that they write her. Her line, righteousness without power is just an opinion, that was a very good line. And the other line she had where she said, there are no good and bad guys, only bad guys and worse guys. Those 2 lines tell me everything I need to know about Valentina. It explains why she does what she does. It explains her thought process. It explains her worldview. And I like when characters explain themselves. I like when there is a line, a scene, several scenes that explains where they are currently at and what they are thinking, which is what is missing with some of the rest of the people I'm going to talk about. My favorite scene of Valentina's is when she is facing Sentry and he's saying, I'm a god. Why should I listen to you? And she's looking at him like, I'm her. That's why you should be like, and she's damn near rolling her eyes. I really love human villains, or is she considered an antagonist? I feel like she is straight up a villain. I really like human villains who do not give a damn about your superpowers. They are that confident. They have that much delusion of grandeur that they will stare a character like Sentry in the face and be like, "Get out of my way." Moving on to Walker. In Thunderbolts, I really appreciated Walker's self-inflated importance. His self-importance, his out of control ego. I don't like him, but I could tolerate him more in this movie because Yelena was on his head, Ava was on his head, Bob didn't like him, so it made him easier to tolerate. Walker started off very strong. Like, he is just hard to take, hard to get along with. You like to see him get his ass kicked. So it is established, we are informed that, he's having trouble. There's trouble at home. He is still dealing with the F up from when he was Timu Captain America, and he can't get over it to the point that where he is neglecting his child. And so he ends up losing his family. But after Bucky ties them up and releases them, they leave that alone. Like, yes, Walker has now joined the team, but is he gonna call his family now that he's on a team? Is he gonna call his baby? What is it? What? So he had an internal thing going. They established that, gave us a little fact. And also there was the whole like he doesn't work with the team or whatever, like he wants to be the leader. But then like nothing happened. Like there was no resolution. He's but after like they were released, after Bucky released them, he was just vibing. Yelena says a lethal line to Walker where she says something like, "You're trash and your family knows it too." Fatality. And then what? Like what does that do to Walker? I don't know. Like he walks away and then he's back to fight. So strike a star there. By that point, I already knew it wasn't going to be fantastic. Like it wasn't going to be a great movie. Moving on to Bucky. The writing for Bucky here is surface level. What do I mean? He is just doing things. He just does things. He spends the whole movie searching for the central point of the plot, aka the other characters. So he's just doing things. He's just moving along until he gets with them, and then he joins like the actual like main through line of the movie. That is criminal for a character like Bucky that we've known for so long. It is criminal that this is the movie that we've spent the most time with him since Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we don't get anything about him. No, I did not want him to relive his trauma. Yes, he has taken care of it. He's in a better place. He's actually a congressman now. How? I don't understand why they don't think they need to say anything about that. They don't think Bucky should say to somebody why he's doing this. I can sub in that it's because he wants to help New York. Is it because he wants to help New York? Somebody said it's because he wanted to go after Valentina. Is that it? He's bored with it though. And by the end, is he still a congressman? We don't know. There could have been something there to tell us where Bucky is at, like mentally. People keep calling him a mentor in the group. He's not a mentor in the group. Shit. I would say Alexi or even Yelena herself. Who is he mentoring? Like he said some generic words when they were tied up, and that was pretty much it. He could have been a mentor. He could have established a relationship with every single person on the team. They could have used him in that capacity, but that's not what they did. I will say, I've said this before, Bucky, I have never been into Bucky. I've been into the Winter Soldier, but not Bucky the character. I didn't get interested in him because prior he was just like Steve's like needs to be protected by Steve or whatever. And Steve himself got on my last nerve. But in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I really grew to like him, love him. I melted when he showed up in Brave New World. And I think his one appearance in Brave New World did more for him than in this movie. And it's because of his relationship with Sam and because that one scene showed that he's learned things from therapy. How did we move this forward here? We didn't. And by the end of the movie, the post credits, mid credits, he's beefing with Sam over the Avengers. You're that thirsty? You're like, why? Why does Bucky join this team? Why does he want to be part of a team? Why is he a congressman instead of suiting up every night to help. Okay, so I think I've made my point. Last and least, Ava. Why is Ava in this movie? Why her? Why her? When I walked out of that theater, I knew that was the first time I had seen Ava. Come to find out, Ava was in Ant-Man 2, a movie that came out in 2018. She had one exposition scene where she told us why she was doing what she was doing. I didn't remember that. I did not remember that. But in this movie, they told us that like she said she built her suit to like help herself. That's not what they said in Ant-Man 2. Lawrence Fishburne built that suit. Um, what about Ava? What about Ava? Is she haunted by something? Like, why does she want to join the team? They keep saying she sucks because she has killed people. Okay, so has Elena. So has like most of the people on this team. All of the people on this team, except for, well, including Bob. So there's nothing special. What is unique about Ava as a character? Why should I want to see her again? The answer is I don't want to see her again. I don't care to see her again. I don't care to see Walker again. The only people I want to see again are Yelena, Bob, and Alexei. But unfortunately, they're all stuck together in this damn team that this movie did not make me invest in. The golden standard for strangers coming together, criminals, as a matter of fact, coming together to form a team, the golden standard is Guardians of the Galaxy 1. That movie, by the end, I knew something about every character, not just something, but something that made me care about them. Thunderbolts failed to do that, including for a character that's been here forever. Why do I care that Bucky is on this team? I don't. And for that reason, despite how well they wrote Yelena and Bob, what they failed to do with some of the other characters who are supposed to be part of the team brings the movie down for me and makes it just average. Those people saying this is the best Marvel has ever done in a long time, I wish I understood what y'all were talking about. So to end all this, I'll end it again with my 3 favorite scenes. I didn't mention this before, but the fight in the boiler room is one of them, especially between Ghost and Taskmaster. The fight against Sentry and in the penthouse, and Alexei talking Yelena up and building her up so that she can rejoin the fight. Also, to show you how Ghost is just here for the plot, when Yelena calls her a B word, she disappears, literally disappears, but for whatever reason stuck by and rejoined the fight when everything started going down. Just here for the plot, just a plot device.